Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. My favorite makeup today is this. This is my Kat Von D Lock-It Blotting Powder. This is in the shade Light. This is so great for when I'm feeling a little bit sweaty and I just need to powder my nose a little bit. It just immediately takes care of that shine without disrupting any of my makeup or making me look powdery or blotchy or anything like that. It's just super easy to put on. Plus it has this awesome mirror which is super big. The compact will stay open by itself, and if you run out you can pop this out and pop another one in. You don't have to rebuy the entire compact. Although the compact is beautiful. It's got this really neat like pressed wax symbol. I just love this thing. Anyway, on to the video. Speaking of awesome packaging, today's video is going to be about packaging. It's going to be packaging woes and wins. So this will be like the packaging of my makeup products that I super love as well as super hate. There'll be a couple things that you'll be expecting, but there might be some surprises in here too. So let's get started. So first I want to talk about the packaging on foundation. So this is the Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. You get 1.08 fluid ounces of this, and this costs $34 currently at Sephora. This comes in a glass bottle, a beautiful frosted glass bottle actually. It has a plastic lid and it comes with a pump. For $34, this is beautiful packaging. It's very sturdy. I don't worry about it. I feel like it's going to hold its own. This, on the other hand, is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Mattifying Foundation. This is 1.01 fluid ounces, and currently this costs $41 for this foundation. It used to be $39. They've slowly crept the price up when you're not looking. I love this foundation. I think it's really great. However, this does not have a pump. This has sort of like a little squeezy dropper tube that when you get to the bottom of it, you actually have to pop this thing out to get product out. Or you can cut into it and sort of like jab a spatula in. It's incredibly difficult to get product out of this when it starts to run low because you can only squeeze so far, and that doesn't mean that the product's going to come out. For the cost of this, I would expect this to be at least having a pump for it, because this is just not packaged in a very useful way. I vastly prefer the packaging on this Fenty foundation. So the next thing I want to talk about are two primers. Now I have mini sizes of both of these primers, so I can't exactly speak to how much they cost if you were going to purchase them. One of them was a points perk and the other one came in a set. So I'm estimating they probably cost about the same. One might cost slightly more, but it's basically a wash. The first one would be this. This is the Becca First Light Priming Filter. This comes in a plastic tube. It has a screw-on lid, and this is the way that the applicator looks at the end. It doesn't have like the little pointy nozzle like some of the some concealers necessarily do. I find this very easy to use. It's easy to squeeze product out of the bottom. Also, while this is very sturdy plastic, I know that I could puncture this and cut it open with scissors to get at any additional product, so it wouldn't feel like I was wasting this. So this, I feel, is good packaging for a primer. On the other hand, we have this. This is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. So this comes in a little glass jar, which is definitely very cool, especially for a mini size, and it has a screw-on lid, and then it comes with this weird little spatula. And the weirdest thing about this spatula, I'll have to wipe up some products so you can see what I'm talking about here, is it's got little holes in it. Now, apparently that's supposed to help smooth this primer onto your face. I don't find that it does anything except slightly scratch me. So while I do like the primer, I hate this little spatula. I end up just wiping it on my hand, then picking it up with my fingers and then applying it to my face. Now technically that might be violating how you're supposed to apply this primer because they gave you a spatula for a reason, but for the life of me, I don't understand it. Also, when this starts to run low, I'm going to have a very difficult time getting anything out of this because the packaging is glass. So as far as I can get out, it's only what I can scrape out, either with this tiny spatula, which does not extend all the way to the bottom, or I'll have to get a different spatula. And because this is not flexible, it's going to be difficult to get stuff out of the very bottom. I think it's a great idea. I don't really get this packaging though. Next, we're going to move on to blush. So as an example of really great packaging, I'm going to use this. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio. This blush trio, so it comes in a plastic box. It has a little button that you push in order to open it. The lid, you can also adjust it. You can leave it sitting up if you want. It has a huge mirror, especially for a compact this size. It comes with the 3 blushes. It sits very nicely on the table, and when you close it, it gives a good snap so you know that it's sealed. I don't worry about it like popping back open in my bag. I definitely feel secure that this is fine. Plus it has really like a neat like hologram on the top of it. Like, isn't that cool? This, on the other hand, this is the Milani Baked Blush, the Baked Powder Blush actually. And let me be clear, I love this blush. Just the packaging is a little funky. It sort of rattles a little, just in general life. And that's because of how it's made. So there's a little button here, you put your nail in, you flip that up, the blush is on top, that's wonderful. And then you lift up to get at a tiny brush as well as a tiny, tiny little mirror. Now, I absolutely appreciate that this comes with a mirror, especially for a drugstore blush. It's also great that it comes with this tiny little brush, although I find the brush to be a little scratchy, so I don't use it very much. So for that, it's not necessarily very useful to me. And the packaging is very pretty. It's just a little bit bulky, and I think that I would have preferred having the mirror in the top of the compact and skipping on the brush entirely. That way it would have probably reduced this by about half the size. I mean, there is a cost differential to this. I mean, for this Milani blush, this is about $7.99, I think, on the Ulta website. It sometimes costs a little bit more in the CVS, just depending where you live, but you're getting 3.5 grams of product. And then you're going to get this little guy. This is $30 for this blush trio, and you're getting 3 grams of product, but you're getting 3 different colors in here. Even though I do get annoyed by this packaging because it does take up a lot of space in my bag when I travel with this blush, honestly, the fact that this costs $8 and it has a mirror means nobody has any excuse whatsoever. So my issue with this next category, which will be mascara, has nothing to do with the actual mascara itself. I think drugstore mascaras are easily comparable to many high-end mascaras. Often they are better. It has nothing to do with that. It is purely to do with packaging. So, for example, this is my Blinc Mascara. This packaging is absolutely beautiful. It's this lovely, like, brushed stainless steel type of packaging. It's made out of metal. It's very sturdy. Has a screw-on lid. I feel like this is secure. It's not going to open up in my bag. It's not going to rattle around. It's going to be safe. It looks like a very fancy pen. These, on the other hand, these are the Covergirl Peacock Flare Mascara, and this is the Mary Kay Lash Intensity Mascara. This packaging is all weirdly shaped, like for no reason. Like this one actually tapers. So they're weirdly shaped. They're artificially shiny for no reason. The Covergirl actually has a rubber grip at the top of it, which is nice when applying the mascara, but it now has like the remnants of lipstick and glitter all over it from whenever I've touched it or if it sits near other makeup in my makeup bag. So both of these on the bottom are shaped in such a way that I cannot store them with the rest of my mascara. So a nice slim mascara like this can go right into one of my organizers. I actually have an organizer that's generally intended for use with lipsticks, but all of my mascaras generally fit into it, except these guys because they're so oddly shaped. I get that they're trying to differentiate themselves in the marketplace, but what it does is make it really hard for me to store these. And while I do like the products, it doesn't make me want to buy them again. So moving on to lipsticks, one of my very favorite lipsticks would be the Kat Von D Studded Kiss lipstick. So I know they are reformulating this, and I'm hoping that they're going to fix this packaging problem in the new formulation. I'm also looking forward to seeing them because I'd love to swatch like my pre-existing Studded Kiss lipsticks against the new formula to see how much the color changed when they went to being vegan. But the biggest problem with these lipsticks was this packaging. It's really beautiful. It's sort of like spiky and interesting. You can feel it in your bag, like you know where it is in your purse, but most of the time you're going to be finding just the cap because the caps on these lipsticks fall off all the time. Constantly rattling around in the bottom of my bag, in the bottom of my makeup stuff. I will lose the cap of this if I take it anywhere. In fact, I stopped carrying Kat Von D lipsticks in my purse unless I put them in a Ziploc bag by themselves. That's how annoying this was. I am super hoping that Kat Von D Beauty is going to fix that and that this is no longer going to be an issue because, man, I love these lipsticks, but this packaging is dumb. On the other hand, this packaging from Urban Decay, these are the Vice lipsticks. I actually love the packaging on these. Like, they snap shut, and you can hear that they've snapped. And even though this won't even spin around, like nothing is happening. You have to really pull on this to pull this back apart. And then I feel like this is secure. Nothing's going to happen to this. It can rattle around in my purse all day long, and it never gets on anything. I've never had the lid of one of these fallen off ever. Whether in the full size or the mini. I have a couple of the full size ones, but honestly, this is some of the best packaging on lipstick. I never worry about these coming open. So I wish these two could swap. And now we're going to talk about highlighters. Shocking, I know. And I'm actually going to talk about the same brand. Now, I don't think that the packaging on either of these is perfect, but one of them is definitely better than others, and I'll explain why. So we take a look at these two. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit, and this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit. Now, I love the formula of both of these, though they are definitely different. I love both of these glow kits. I think they're wonderful. But look at the size differential that we're dealing with here. Like, significant size differential. Now, these have 4.2 grams of product each, and these have 4.5. When you open these up and look at them, you can see where space could be saved in this Nicole Guerriero. I would have vastly preferred that they made these into squares as well, and they could have made this the same size palette. I had to specifically buy a makeup bag in order to take this traveling with me because it was too big to fit in any of the ones I already owned. I wish that it was the same shape as the Moonchild because then it would have cut out so much of this space. There's no way that like this was necessary in order to fit that tiny extra bit of product. Now, what I will talk about is the fact that neither of these lovely and exquisite $40 highlighter palettes have a mirror. That's silly, people. On the other hand, this $39 highlighting palette does. This is the Cover FX Perfect Highlighting Palette. It's an enormous mirror. To be fair, there is less product in this. There's only 3 grams of product a piece in this one. So there's the Cover FX in comparison to the Moonchild and the Nicole Guerriero. This is way easier to take anywhere. For one thing, this is heavy plastic. This is cardboard. This has a mirror. These don't. Look, I'm not hating on cardboard palettes. This next product has more product in it than any of those other palettes do. And it's this. It's the Wet n Wild Megaglo Highlighting Palette. Do I love the packaging on this? It's okay. It's pretty big. However, it has 5.4 grams of product per shade. I get 4 gigantic shades. Yeah, it's made of cardboard, but frankly, this is the same quality cardboard as that Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. So why would I get mad at this for costing $15? I expect this kind of packaging for that kind of price. I expect better for $40. And speaking of packaging that should not cost so much money for what it is, let's talk about this. This is the Milk Makeup Holographic Powder Quad. It's called Space Jam. And I'm not saying I don't like this palette. I actually do, because this palette is sort of my sacrificial lamb palette. I don't worry about throwing this into my purse because it does have a pretty sturdy plastic case to it, though it does not have a mirror. And this originally retailed for $49 and did not have a mirror. I think the quality of the product is wonderful. I like these highlighters. Do I have highlighters very similar to these? I do. I can pretty much dupe all of these out. However, I don't care what happens to this palette so much, so that's why I'll take it with me traveling, because if I drop it, I'm gonna get over it. These individual shades, there's 4 grams of product each, so that's more than the Cover FX, although you get 6 shades in the Cover FX, but it's less than all of the Anastasia Beverly Hills, and definitely less than the Wet n Wild. Now, I didn't pay full price for this. I bought it on sale, and for the sale price, I'm fine with it, and I'll definitely keep it around for now. But again, if I broke this or lost it, I would not be heartbroken, because while it's a lovely palette, it's perfectly good, I know that I can easily replace this out of my own personal collection, but I don't have to risk other things that I would just prefer to stay safe and safe at home. For $49 originally, this should have had a mirror. And speaking of mirrors, this product does have a mirror. I just hate the mirror. We're going to talk about this quickly because I've already complained about it enough. This is the Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette. It slides in, you push it out, and the mirror is in the center here to blind everyone. I hate the packaging on this palette. I have determined that if I wish to depot this palette, I have to actually break the case from the back coming this direction. I don't have the right tool for it yet, so I haven't tried, because I do not think I can pop them out. There's not enough clearance going in through the top. I have been debating just, you know, cost of business, buying an extra one of these and really going to town on it for a video. So that's something I'm highly considering. I do think it would be funny. It's just, do I want to spend an extra $39 for the express purpose of basically bashing this thing apart? This packaging is dumb. And I'm not going to hate on Urban Decay because I think they have great eyeshadow. So I'm going to point out an eyeshadow product that they have that has great packaging, and that's the Urban Decay After Dark palette. This is the same sort of like beautiful purple plastic. It's very shiny, very reflective. I'll try to minimize this. This sort of has like an oil reflect though. It's sort of there's like a rainbow. This palette has a very nice sturdy lid. You can adjust it, you can let it sit up. It has a beautiful gigantic mirror. It also has many lovely shades, and it does have a brush in there, which is great. I would have preferred that this Heavy Metals palette was set up in a palette like this one. There are a lot of very similar colors in the Heavy Metal palette. You could dupe it out. I have done so. When I did my eyeshadow palette declutter, I duped these on my arms to show you which colors were the same. So if you want to check that out, I'll put that up there. You can make a lot of the same colors. There are different ones in this palette. Like the Heavy Metals palette has some really beautiful shades. We could easily fit them into this After Dark palette size. You could have fit at least 3 rows of these metallic eyeshadows in here with a little extra space to take that 4th row and fit it in on the side. You might have had to make the palette a little bit longer, but I wouldn't have minded if this were a little bit longer because I could still store it places. It would have been easy to store. This Gigantor palette, I can only store this like in the back of my letter organizer, and I have to store it like this because if I store it this direction, it will fall out. So Urban Decay, next time you're going to do a super epic palette, could you go back to like this kind of packaging or like the electric palette? That was perfectly fine. No one was complaining about the packaging on those palettes. In fact, I don't know that we were really complaining about either of these palettes. They're really nice. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, please subscribe, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Bye!